Hey everyone, Father Charles here. I want to talk to you about the weekend mass situation. We had a parking lot mass last week at each parish, and it was really a great turnout. Weather was good. Heard some great comments from people. Thank you all for your patience and your willingness to roll with a kind of an unusual situation. So this week we've been given the approval to have limited numbers of people in church. According to the diocese, a quarter of capacity. So actually, when you come right down to it, that doesn't really amount to a whole lot, but we're going to try and get as many people in as possible, and the rest will be able to experience Mass from the parking lot, hearing it through the transmitter. Everybody will receive communion from their cars like we did last week. So we're going to try and do the regular Mass schedule, so 5 p.m. at St. Ambrose on Saturday evening, and then 8 a.m. at St. Ambrose, 9:30 at St. Patrick's, and 11 a.m. at St. Ambrose on Sunday. We'll see how it goes. It'll be first come, first serve as far as getting into the church. Church won't actually open until a half an hour prior, but you can come in and park prior to that. There will be parking lot attendants to help you, tell you where to park, and also greeters to help you see where to sit, how to sit in an appropriately socially distanced way, etc. My guess is that after we've done it for a couple of weeks, people will kind of get the drill. I really don't know what to expect. I imagine some people will want to stay home just because they don't want to expose themselves to the risk. We do ask that if you are experiencing any type of flu-like symptoms or any type of sickness whatsoever, you please refrain from coming. I want to stress that the Sunday obligation is still not in effect. So you're under no obligation to come to church. This is simply a wonderful way to enjoy liturgy in a kind of an unusual way if you're able, and if not, then you can still continue to watch it from the YouTube channel or any other way that you're getting plugged into the Mass. And of course, if you can't make it to the actual Mass, but you want to come at the end to receive communion, then that's okay too. So a couple things I just want to emphasize here. First of all, that while the parish staff will attempt to take all appropriate cautions consistent with the advice of public health authorities, parishioners and guests should understand that they assume the risk of contacting COVID-19 anytime they enter a public space, since such precautions do not completely eliminate the risk of infection. So we're going to be doing everything we can, following all the guidelines, proper social distancing. We're asking everyone that comes to church inside the building will actually have to wear a mask. Otherwise, you can't enter in. It's for the safety of the others. We're asking you to please be understanding about the fact that, space is limited. I know it might feel maybe a little bit hurtful if you come and let's say you're a little late and all the capacity inside the church has already been taken up, but just please try to be as understanding as possible. We're not establishing any type of a hierarchy here. You're not more holy or more Catholic if you are worshiping inside the church or in your car, or from that matter, if you're watching it on YouTube. So just please keep that in mind. We're going to do our best to accommodate everyone. That's why we're going to have the complete Mass schedule to try to get as many people in as possible. We're calling this a parking lot Mass with limited seating inside. Everybody's going to receive communion from their car through the line like we had last week. We think that's going to be the easiest way to avoid bottlenecks and parking jams, and these people coming out after they receive communion from church, and then these people getting communion from the car. And why did they get to receive communion inside and we have to receive communion outside? So to eliminate all that, we're just going to ask at the end of Mass, everyone will go to their cars and we'll have you line up and we'll receive communion on the way out. And this is going to be the drill probably for the next several months. When you arrive at church, the ushers will hand you a bulletin, and in the bulletin is a list of frequently asked questions about what this new worship is going to look like. So pretty much anything you could probably think of will be on that sheet. There's also going to be a separate sheet of paper that has all that information on it, and we ask that you either take that and or the bulletin and file that away. Maybe cut it out and put it on your refrigerator so that you are up to date on all of the different practices and guidelines, etc. We are going to ask you to take a ticket. It'll be a little piece of paper, and we're going to ask you to also sign in. Someone will sign you in when you come into church. The reason for the tickets is because it's the best way we can think of to measure out how many people. So we've got X amount capacity. we'll give out X amount of tickets. When the tickets are gone, we have no more capacity inside. It's an easy way for our ushers and greeters to know when we are at capacity so that we keep at the limit that the diocese has asked us to keep for people's safety. We're going to ask for a sign-in for tracing purposes. So let's say, God forbid, let's say somebody who we find out was at Sunday's Mass tested positive for COVID the following week. Well, that means that 50 or so people are now going to be at risk. I know I would want to know. I think you would too. So these people can quarantine themselves and or get tested to make sure that they are staying safe. So the only way we can have a traceability is if we have the names and the numbers of the people coming to church. So we're not going to sell your data to Google. They already have it anyway. So we're not going to sell it on eBay or give it to Amazon or Facebook. We just want the information so that should somebody end up proving positive for the disease, that we can let the other people who are in church know so that we can have traceability and we can try to limit the spread of the disease. So really looking forward to this next step. This is a really great thing. And I know you're as excited as me. It was so wonderful to see all of you at church on Sunday, even though we couldn't go in. We were blessed with wonderful weather. So we're only going to be having communion by hand. There's going to be no offertory collection. You'll just drop your envelope in a basket that'll be by the door. There will be no offertory procession. There's going to be no servers. There will be a lector. No Eucharistic ministers. At this time, Father will be the only one giving out communion. So all that information will be on those sheets. And I hope to see you this weekend. And may God bless you. Thank you so much for all of your support and your encouragement. Thank you for being such troopers amid this very difficult situation that we've been living through. And thank you in advance for your patience and your understanding as we make our first bumbling attempts to make it back into church and establish some normalcy in our regular worship schedule. We're also going to be having Mass Tuesday evenings at St. Ambrose at 5:30 and 8:30 a.m. at St. Patrick's. Once the Sunday Masses start, we're going to resume those weekday Masses. We won't be having Mass on Wednesday or Thursday just because of the pretty extensive cleaning that has to be done after each Mass. For now, we're just going to stick to Tuesdays, St. Ambrose, Fridays at St. Patrick's, in addition to the Sunday Masses. So stay tuned for more details. Thank you all so much, and God bless you.